This is called Innovation Dialog. So for innovation, and what's your definition by innovation in one or two sentences?
Wow. Innovation is constant change, constant improvement that benefits society.
Thank you. And just now you talk about President Donald Trump's trip to China, and what can we expect from this trip?
Well, this is a great opportunity for President Trump to sit down with the leaders of Japan, South Korea, and China to really discuss the areas of interest, commonality between the United States and each of the three countries to help resolve some of the issues that separate us, but hopefully a great opportunity to really discuss the situation in North Korea, to try to develop a path forward, a consensus on how all of us can work together to stabilize the Korean Peninsula and stop North Korea from developing a nuclear weapon and the capability to deliver it to the United States and other countries, which really threaten peace and stability.
Mm-hmm. You've been staying in China for a long time, I would say. You see, regarding the innovation, what is the major difference in the culture for innovation?
Well, the innovation culture is just beginning in China, and you're seeing that with many great companies, whether it's Baidu, Alibaba, and so many tech companies in China. It's going to be a source of good jobs for the Chinese young people, opportunities for entrepreneurs, and hopefully with benefits for the entire world. Obviously, the United States is also focused on artificial intelligence. The Chinese government is now putting a lot of money into attracting scientists and researchers from around the world to set up their laboratories and R&D centers in China. The United States needs to be watching this and try to come up with policies that will also encourage our great tech companies, many of which are headed up by Chinese here in Silicon Valley. We need the United States to also step forward and promote a culture and climate for innovation in artificial intelligence.
You just talked about the United States should watch about it, and what are the specific fields that United States should watch?
Well, no, I mean, artificial intelligence is wide open. It can have huge, profound impacts, whether it's replacing translators, to self-driving automobiles, to doing analysis of X-rays and things like that. So the field is without limit. It's really up to the human brain and creativity and imagination of our people. Certainly the United States can implement policies that encourage companies to invest in R&D, to focus on artificial intelligence. That also means our states, and from the state assembly to passing policies that provide more funding to our colleges, universities to engage in this, to have courses in it, to have graduate students and professors working on artificial intelligence, which oftentimes then leads to startup companies, and then creating good jobs for the people of America, and especially here in Silicon Valley. So we just need to be mindful that this is the new technology of the future, and that America needs to be involved, needs to be very active in promoting and supporting companies in artificial intelligence, along with R&D, all the way from our colleges and universities.
So you just mentioned about the enforced policies. What kind of policies is going to be enforced under the President Donald Trump?
Well, we haven't really heard anything from President Trump. In fact, some signs are discouraging. He wants to cut the budget of some of our scientific research funding agencies, the National Science Foundation, even medical research in health is being cut back under his proposals. A lot of the things that we now take for granted in our daily lives came about from grants funded by the Defense Department and the National Science Foundation and many others that we all incorporate in our daily lives. Even funding for the space program. I mean, we have things like Velcro that everyone takes for granted. A lot of these things came from funding from the U.S. government, which then were spread out into the private sector.
So how to solve the problem?
Well, we just need to have government policies that promote R&D and funding for our colleges and universities.
Thousands and millions of young entrepreneurs in China, and what's the suggestions you would like to give to them, and what they can learn from American innovation?
Oh, well, I think that the reason that America has excelled in innovation is because of our emphasis on rule of law, our emphasis on critical thinking, and the fact that we embrace diversity. so many of the great companies that have formed in the United States that have led to amazing discoveries were started by people of all different races, all different cultures, all different backgrounds, including immigrants. That diversity of people, thought, ideas, approaches, way of thinking is what has led to the success and the innovation of America. When you have people from all different perspectives sitting around together thinking about this and saying, well, maybe you should think about it this way because back in our home country, this is how we do things, this is what we value, this is what we think. Mm-hmm. Having all these different perspectives, analyzing a problem, leads to a better result.
Mm-hmm. There are so many people here, the multicultural. What is the most important thing when people from different backgrounds getting together? And do you have any suggestions? How can they work together? What's the most important thing?
I think the most important thing is respect for each other. Respect for each other's viewpoints, ideas, even if you don't agree with it. Respecting their culture and the contributions that they can bring together when we all sit together. Okay. Very interested in politics. I will not run for office again, but I'm very interested in helping bring a new generation of Chinese American and Asian Americans into public office. Because again, I believe that if we care about the issues, whether it's employment, whether it's about health or pollution or the environment, climate change, we need more Asian Americans, Chinese Americans in office.
Okay. Well,
thank you very much.